All right, everyone. Hello. I'm going to try and get these done really, really quick so that we can get them uploaded and hit that 5 o'clock deadline. So, today we are working on multiplying polynomials. So our essential question is, how can you multiply two polynomials? We don't have any big vocab words for today. So it's mainly just, trying to answer the question, how do we multiply two polynomials? And I'm going to give you a couple of different strategies today to help you do that. So if you like one method over the other, great. Pick that method and go with it. All right, so here's our first core concept. We're going to learn about the FOIL method. So what the FOIL method is, and this, you guys, I basically have like this stuff right here on your notes. So you're definitely going to want to get the rest of this stuff written down. But basically, you guys, FOIL stands for first terms, outer terms, inner terms, and last terms. So what's going to happen is you're going to be given a couple of binomials. You may even be given like a binomial and a trinomial. But the FOIL method basically just works for two binomials instead of binomial and trinomial. So with the first terms, basically what happens is you're taking your two firsts and you are multiplying them together. And we've talked about how when you take x times x, that turns into x squared. Then you're going your two outer terms, so like the two that are on the very ends, and you're going to multiply those together. So x times 2 gives you 2x. Then you're just going to do the two inner terms, which turn into 1x, and then the two last terms. So that you would just, most of the time, those are going to end up being constants. So basically that last one is going to end up being just a basic number. But you don't necessarily have to do the FOIL method. It's just kind of like the easiest way to talk about it. And then if you notice down here, down on the bottom, they go ahead and they combine their like terms. So this turns out to be your ending answer. So we're basically going to go through, I'm going to show you a couple of examples doing the FOIL method, and then I'm also going to show you a method called the box method that I also really like. It keeps things organized, and I'm all about organization. So let's take a look at this first example, this letter A. If we're going to do the FOIL method, again, you've got your x plus 2, you've got your x plus 5. And for this one, you guys, we don't really have to worry about the signs, but on the next one, you're going to have to pay really close attention to the signs. But for this, you're basically taking your firsts. So you're taking x times x, which gives you x squared. Then you're going to go with your outsides. So x times 5 gives you 5x. Then you're doing the insides. So you've got 2x, and then the lasts, so that gives you 10. So you're basically just going about, and you are going to add all of these together. Find your like terms, put those all together, basically just these two middle ones in here. So then your ending answer is going to turn out to be x squared plus 7x plus 10. And that's really all there is to it. I am really quickly just going to show you the box method too, because I think the box method is a good one just to, like I said, keep everything organized. I love the box method, especially when you get to multiplying like trinomials and big polynomials. I think it's a lot easier just to keep everything together and organized. So what you would do for the box method is up here on top, and it really doesn't matter which order it goes in, but you're going to take one of your two binomials and you're going to put one on top, and then you're going to put the other one on the other side. And you're just going to create couple of boxes inside here. And then you're just going to multiply like the things that are outside of that box together. So like for this middle box right here, you're going to take the two x's and multiply them together. So again, x times x gives you x squared. And then if we go to the next one, you're going to take 5 times x, which gives you 5x. And I should have highlighted that. Then you're going to go down to this bottom one, and you'll take 2 times x. So that'll give you 2x. And then we'll go ahead and we'll do the last one. So you're going to do 5 times 2. Whoops. That got really, really dark. You're just going to take 5 times 2, and that'll give you 10. And yeah. So then again, make sure you go through and you find your like terms. Now, the nice thing that I love about this box method is if everything is in standard form, your common terms are just going to be across from each other. And that'll prove to be just a little bit more, like you'll see the organization when we get to the binomial, trinomial problems. But it's just super nice. You just look across and there's your like terms. So instead of searching for a long time, you're able to just find them super easy. So x squared plus 7x plus 10. And you came up with the exact same answer that you got before. So honestly, I don't care which method you use, but pick your method and make it your own and really own it and do it for every single problem. I don't know that I'm going to do both methods for every problem, but I'll do both of them for a couple of examples just to kind of get you into the groove of it. So let's take a look at letter B now. So if we do the FOIL method, we're looking at the firsts. That'll give you x squared. If we go to the outsides, that'll give you negative 4x, because you gotta look at this sign. That sign belongs to that 4, so you gotta multiply those together. Then we gotta do the inside, so that'll be 3x. And then let's do the last. So you've got 3 times negative 4, which will give you negative 12. Again, make sure that you're just finding those like terms. Again, since this one is, since your binomials are in standard form, your two common terms ended up right next to each other. So in the end, you'll come up with x squared minus x minus 12. If you like the box method better, I'll just show you that one really quick, just because it's super fast. We'll do, okay, I guess that doesn't want to do that. So we'll just really quickly, I'll set up the box. So there's my box. I'm going to put, like I said, it doesn't matter which one goes where. And I'm actually, just for the sake of keeping things organized, I'm going to put the other binomial up on top, because seeing the negative right next to it reminds me that you have to multiply by a negative. And then down on the bottom, I'm going to put that x plus 3. So I'm just going to create those boxes. So the two left-hand boxes, the two on the upper left-hand corners, that'll turn into x squared. If I go to the upper right-hand box, negative 4 times x, so that'll be negative 4x. Going down to the lower left-hand box, that turns into 3x. And then the lower right-hand box turns into negative 12. Again, just looking, your two common terms are across from each other. So you come out with the exact same answer that we did up here. That'd just be x squared minus x minus 12. Oh, okay, I thought I had another problem down there, but I guess I don't. Okay. I encourage you just to take this one and try it on your own. Pick your method, either FOIL or box, try it. Maybe you want to try both just because you're not sure which one you want to do. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to do both of them and just kind of show you both of them, and we'll just compare answers in a second. So pause the video and give it a try. All right, so here's what I got. The only thing that I encourage you to be careful with on this one is notice that this term right here up in the corner is a 2x, unlike the others have been just x's. So just be aware of that. You've got that 2x there instead of the x. But other than that, you guys, it's pretty straightforward. Again, I kind of just encourage you to, look at the next. You can ignore these directions that I have up here because I'm going to kind of let you guys just pick which method you want to use. I'm not going to hold you to making sure that you understand all of the methods. And I think it's a good idea that you understand all of the methods, but I really just encourage you guys to find your method that you like and you're most comfortable with. That's the big thing to me. Okay, so pause the video, try these couple of problems and just see what you get. I will pause mine too, and I'll show you the answers in just a second. All right, so I just realized that you don't even have these examples in your packets. But if you tried them, great. If you want the answers for the other two, you can just let me know. I will check them tomorrow. But I am going to move on to the next examples. Big thing with these examples, you guys, is they do a little bit more. Like this one has 2 negatives with it, and this one has 2 coefficients that are numbers instead of just a leading coefficient of 1. So just be aware of those couple of pieces. So again, if we just kind of look, if we do the FOIL method, that turns into x squared. If we, let's see, we got to go to the outside, so that's negative 6x. And then if we do the insides, that's negative 3x. Now here's the big step. When you multiply these, do not forget about these negatives. 2 negatives turn into a positive, so that makes that positive 18. So then in the end, your answer turns out to be x squared minus 9x plus 18. And it's going to be really important for you guys to start recognizing like some of the characteristics of these, because if you notice the second term, so this 9x is negative, but our last term is positive. So just keep that in mind with a lot of these, because we're going to end up working backwards in the next couple of lessons too. So right now we're learning the basics of foiling and multiplying everything together, but then in the next couple of lessons we're actually going to be working backwards. So kind of start paying attention to all of the signs and how those all work together. All right, just for mixing it up sake, for you box people out there, I'm going to do it the box method way. But again, if you're a FOIL person, go ahead, do your foiling. Okay, so here we would have 6x squared. In this upper right-hand box, that would be 3x. Down here, that would be negative 10x. And this lower right-hand box would be negative 5. So taking a look here across, those are your like terms. So we would have 6x squared minus 7x minus 5. All right, then this next slide, these are the examples that you have in your notes. So once again, take a couple minutes, pause the video, try them. All right, so here are my solutions. Again, just notice that you've got 2 negatives on number 5. So there's a negative, and look at the pattern. So your middle term ends up being negative, but your last term ends up being positive because you're combining, you're adding for the middle term, and you're like multiplying. Like when you take the products of the 2 lasts, that turns out positive. Let's see, shouldn't be anything super surprising over here. I guess just again, kind of looking at the setup, you've got a positive and a negative. Notice that both of your terms turn out to be negative. So like those last 2 terms. Here, kind of just to give you a different look on things. Again, they have different terms or different signs. But your signs ends up staying the same between those 2 terms. And then I don't really care, you guys, if you write 5/2 or if you did 2.5. Doesn't matter to me. And then for this last one, this is a unique problem because if you look, this is the only one where when you look diagonally, those aren't the same term because it's not set up the same way. You've got n plus 2 and then you've got n squared plus 3. So you are going to end up with 4 different terms because you don't have any of the same terms that are like the same. All right, I think the only thing that I have left is I have these two and then I've got the word problem. So I'm going to make a new video for this. So I'm done with your first few examples and then I'll do these and then the word problem on the next video.